Hey, what's up, you guys? Johnny Beane here. This is exclusively Van Halen, the Van Halen show on YouTube. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Very special show today. So let's do it right here on what channel is this? Michael Anthony.
Hey, this is Michael Anthony right here, and you are watching exclusively Van Halen on the Johnny Beane TV. Keep it there. Woo! See ya!
Hey, what's up, you guys? Johnny Beane here. This is exclusively Van Halen, the Van Halen show on YouTube. Very special guests today, Michael and Robert. Hey, dudes.
How's it going, Johnny?
Hello.
Great. How are you guys?
Doing well.
Definitely. All good.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, hey, before we start, let's make this a real show and let's say hello to the top tier of channel members on the Johnny Beane YouTube channel. Channel membership. It's a great way to help support the channel and support these shows. Top tier are the executive producers, Michael B, Music Therapy Labs, Majestic PB and J Cat, Flipper Carlin, CC, Bay Area Rich, Sherman Callahan, Nova 9, Warlag, and our Habs and Janice Lala. Thank you guys for being top tier channel members here on YouTube. So, you guys, Robert, we'll start with you, dude. How did you get involved with the world of Van Halen?
Well, I got lucky. I guess I got involved like everyone else did. I heard the first album, and it was unlike anything else. I was 14 when it came out. I wanted to see Van Halen at the Day on the Green in '78. They played on my 15th birthday. And my parents wouldn't let me go. And in hindsight, I wish I had run away from home that weekend. But I saw him in '79. I saw him in '80 on Ross's birthday. I saw all three Van Halen shows at the Oakland Coliseum in '81, the Fair Warning Tour. Saw every tour after that.
Wow.
And sometime, I guess during the mid 80s, I was flipping through the back of a Rolling Stone magazine, saw a little advertisement for people interested in trading live Van Halen audio and video recordings. And that opened up a whole new world. And met a lot of people through that. One of them was Jeff Hausman. Jeff Hausman runs Van Halen News Desk. He took it over from Grant Fisher, who started it a few years earlier. One day, Jeff calls me up and he says, "Hey, I want to start a Van Halen magazine." And I thought that's great, but there's so many music magazines out there. It's really hard to compete. And he said, "No, only Van Halen pictures, only Van Halen articles." And I said, "Okay, well, tell me how I can help out." So I started doing some editing and contributing stories, and that got me access to the band when they came through town. And I interviewed them a few times, and from there, just became more involved in different Van Halen publications. Worked a bit on the early version of Van Halen Encyclopedia. Years later, edited the manuscript for Van Halen Rising, Jeff Renoff's masterpiece. That was a really, really educational exercise. I thought I knew a lot about Van Halen, but when I read that manuscript, I was amazed at all that Greg had dug up and presented. It's a great book, and editing it was the easy part. The hard part was not talking about it for a year while it was going to press and before it came out to the bookshelves. So that's pretty much it. While I was working on the magazine that Jeff Hausman created, that's the Inside magazine, I met this guy at a Van Halen 3 concert. I was in, 97, 98, something like that.
I think so, right.
Yeah, they were coming through town, through Sacramento, and it was after the sound check, and I was walking around the parking lot, stretching my legs, and this guy walked in.
Yeah, hit me on the head and everything. Yeah, yeah, that was fun.
Well, not only was he just walking through the parking lot, he had
The guitar case.
he had a guitar case, and I
Yeah.
thought, well, what's this guy doing?
Yeah, I had just met with 93 Rock. They were was talking to them on radio station and stuff. But before that, well, props to you for the article. That was a cool article.
Oh yeah.
And then props to you, Johnny, for this show. Appreciate you having us on the show. Just want to give you, that's awesome for what you're doing for Van Halen, all that, you know, chickens and all, you know.
Actually, when at that Van Halen 3 show, I was there to interview the roadies,
Oh, wow.
to do a story on that.
Oh,
And
that's
all
I
that went
forgot
on
about
to
that.
put on
That's
the,
right.
on a
All the backstage stuff.
Yeah, to put on a show.
Yeah.
And then I ditched that article and wrote the one about.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I took place. Oh,
Yeah, you did.
See, props. I appreciate that. Oh, yeah, we met backstage at that show, and the thing of it is, I was invited by 93 Rock. I had lost contact with Karen Iamello, who had given me all the backstage passes for all the shows in LA, NAMS, different jam sessions, things of that nature. So he got a hold of me, and it was cool. Ran into you. We were at the meet and greet section, so I was starting to talk to Eddie. You know, I forgot about the pictures of meet and greet. I can care less. I was just talking to him real quick. He didn't get a chance to sign the guitar there. We were talking about that real quick and took pictures. And then he was actually walking with me out to my seat.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's a picture right there.
People were coming in.
Yeah, people were coming in.
They
He
were
was
coming
walking
in to sit.
Yeah, to sit. And plus, he left the meet and greet area. He's being yelled at by Scotty Ross, the tour manager at the time. Like, Eddie, get back here. And Eddie's all, hold on. So he kept walking out with me to the audience area. So we were talking all the way, all kinds of, I don't know what we were talking about, but a lot of different things. And in addition to, what was he saying? We almost exited the area. I was leaving, and he said, we'll talk later or whatever. And then he comes running back out. He says, hey, hold on, Mike. He says, you know, that sculpture you gave me, the head fell off. And this was when I won the guitar years ago, you know, I don't know about, back in 84, 85. Let me back up on that. So when I won the guitar, I had submitted one postcard. It's the Women and Children First picture on that. But I had a stack of cards that I lost. So I submitted one, and, they picked out a huge box. Dennis Brody dove into the box, got it from the bottom, and he originally picked up another card, and that was it. But got mine, and it was rest is history.
And he missed the 25 cards that I mailed in because
There you go.
I was supposed to win.
There you go. Exactly.
That's why when I saw him and he opened, saw him at the concert, or before the concert, he opened the case. And wasn't there someone else around, and they thought it was like you made the guitar or something like that.
I think that was stupid.
And I knew it was real because you started talking about how you won it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was a little irritated. 'Cause I was supposed to win it.
Exactly. And that's what
I
I kept
knew
saying.
it.
It's my guitar. That's my guitar. I won. But yeah, that's pretty much what happened in a sense, right?
Yeah.
But
So-
yeah.
So the guitar, and let's mention this real quick. So the guitar, like the one sitting there next to you, that's this guitar right here,
Yeah, right here.
and that's a Kramer that you won from. It was a magazine contest.
Exactly.
It was
Guitar
like
Magazine.
a NAM
Right.
event contest from like '85.
Right. It was a guitar. I entered the contest through Guitar Magazine for the practicing musician. Right. There was Guitar
Mhm.
Player, Guitar Magazine, and then that one. So I submitted the card to that, and that's what happened. But yeah, that's the guitar, that's the ad, and all that stuff.
That's so cool, man. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And sorry,
But-
I keep muting my mic because there's chickens laying eggs outside, so I keep muting my microphone so you guys don't hear that.
We don't hear 'em. We don't hear 'em. Just bring us the eggs after they're done. I was going to mention on the way out, I don't know if you finished the story, but Eddie came out to grab me before he went back in again. And I gave him a sculpture when I won that contest, right?
It's on the video.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's on the video, Johnny, if you can provide that link for your viewers. But
It'll be
Yeah.
down below in the description.
Yeah,
Actually, it'll be in the live chat
yeah,
in
and
this
that's when
video. The link will be there. Yes.
right, and so that's when I won the guitar. So you'll see the whole video and the whole process. But I gave him the sculpture there. He kept it. I thought he would throw it away. You know, be like, okay, who's this kid? Whatever, don't need that. But he kept it. And he said he apologized because the head fell off. And
So he came out
he
into
came
the
out-
audience.
exactly. He came out to tell me that before the show, out into the audience, and Robert actually saw that whole thing. He's like, "What the hell did he come out
And
for?"
people were
Yeah.
kind of looking, like doing a double
Yeah.
take. Like,
They're like, "Is that Eddie Van
that wouldn't
Halen?"
be him.
Yeah, they were tripping out because he was out there with me, and he's like, he ran back in right after. Scotty Ross pulled him back in. He was so
Yeah.
mad. But I mean, that's how he was. He was personable like that, right?
Yeah.
Down to earth, real nice guy, and just really apologetic about that situation. And then even in the video, you'll see I was supposed to jam with him, right? After he gave me the guitar, they had told me, all right, you know, you're going to sign autographs, take pictures, and then after that, you and Eddie are going to meet up at the suite, and you guys get to jam. And I'm like, I was just like, no freaking way.
Wow. Cool.
You know, and I'm like, first thing I want him to do is play Eruption, as anybody else would, right? I want to hear that in Mean Street. But you'll see in the video where, you know, the crowd starts going crazy. They break down the barriers, and all these people are trying to get to Eddie. So they pull him out real quick, and you'll see him grab me in the shoulder. He says, "You coming with us?" And at the time, they had to separate us because, again, crowd control. They had to bring extra security in and stuff like that to escort him out.
Plus, didn't the magazine interview you?
Yeah, the
Right
Plus
after.
Guitar magazine for the practicing musician, Cherry Lane Music did the interview right after, and there was MTV. I think, I don't know if it was there or where, but yeah, there was a lot of stuff I had to do prior to actually leaving that show. They had a whole lineup, and that's another story. It was just crazy. But yeah, you'll see him in the video leaving, and that was the end of that for that year. And then because we didn't get a chance to jam, Karen Iamella, who I mentioned earlier, reached out, and she said Eddie felt bad about that. So she actually called me a few months later and said, hey, he wants you to be part of the Kramer team. So every year we're going to, you know, you fly down and you'll get the credentials for all the jam sessions, private shows, and you get to hang with Eddie still. So
Wow.
that was freaking huge. And there you go. That's one of the jam
Like that.
sessions. Right. So right there, that was the All-Star Jam. And before those other musicians showed up, it was just Eddie and I on the stage. Nobody else was there, which was crazy, right? So he and I show up. He brings this little effects box that was like soldered together. It was just, you know, there was nothing, no nameplates, no nothing. It was like an experimental thing, you know, prototype. So he was messing that. Before he plugged it in, he gave me his guitar to hold. So I'm like, wow, this
Which one? The 5150.
the 5150 there. And it's just as heavy as the one he gave me. So I'm like, okay, these are identical, right? I haven't felt any other guitar that is that
That thing's a
heavy.
log.
Yeah, so think
so.
about playing a 2-hour show with that on your shoulder, right?
Right.
So I mean, that always
And running around jumping.
exactly jumping. That's why his hip went out. But again, so I held the guitar, and it was just like mine, what he gave me, plugged it in, and then he started jamming. He did. I think we talked about this a while back, but his tune-up or his
Go-to.
warm-up, his go-to. Every time I saw him warm up, he hit the harmonics on the E string, a low E string, you know, 3 different harmonics, and he would do some weird stuff, some noodling. But he did that. That was his technique, and that was his process, warming up, which was awesome.
Every time.
Yeah, and it was crazy because I was like literally sitting this close to him every time. Like him noodling, I'd sit there and just learn, and then him, you know, warming up, doing that same thing was awesome, man. Again, that was just a blessing to be in that position, and you know, very thankful that this whole thing happened because it opened up a lot of doors. You know, meeting you guys, articles, you know, being part of the Grammys and the music career I had, and whatever that may be. But you know, I got to play with a lot of musicians from Tika Bacias from Mark Anthony's band. I got to play with him. I got to play with Jeff Berlin. And then one of the shows that I mentioned to you guys before, I played with Scott Travis from Judas Priest. You know, he saw me out of a show in Sacramento, and he was out in the crowd, which was crazy. And his manager came up and said, "Hey, I'd like you to meet this guy. He wants to jam with you." But at gigs, you know, you get a lot of drunk people.
Right.
They all want to play with you, right? And I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever, right, guy. So I'm drinking my beer, and you know, because we opened for this other guy, and I literally had put this band together just to open for these guys. And so he left, and I'm drinking again. He comes back, taps me on the shoulder again, and he's like, "No, I really want you to meet this guy. He wants, you know, to jam with you at Sammy's Club." And I'm like, "Who is it?" He was right there behind me. I didn't see him. Tall. Scott Travis from Judas Priest. I'm like, no freaking way. So I kind of freaked out on that too. But long story short, it's just the opportunities that this had opened up. Right. You know, winning that guitar is just nuts. And again, I'm thankful for it. It's crazy. You know. And I don't know if you were at any of those shows, Johnny, but you recorded a couple for me. I remember, you know, we had met a long time ago.
I came up and filmed one of the shows that one of your bands did at Sammy's Club.
Yeah, that's
and
cool.
Those videos, they're on they're still on my channel. We can
cool.
put them in the
really?
links if people want to see them. Oh yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. As a matter of fact, like my drummer, his brother Ken is Sammy Hagar's right-hand man.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird how everything still stayed in that circle, man. I didn't even know. You know, we met out of a fluke because I got rid of my old drummer. And I was looking for another drummer, you know. I met this guy, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, yeah, Sammy, yeah, we were with Sammy Hagar and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what the heck? I mean, even that, you know, Vic Johnson, you know, knew about our band. And he asked us to open for him in Tahoe because he had a side project going. So, and then Sammy Hagar heard about us and wanted us to play at one of his, I don't know, some party or something like that. So it's just been crazy. And again, thankful for all that, man. It's crazy. But I didn't know you had the videos. That's cool, Johnny.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Along with your chickens in the back. Okay.
Yep. Cool. So
I'm a subscriber to your channel. Do I get a free egg?
Yeah. Do you get free
do.
eggs or something?
You guys want some eggs? We have eggs.
Yes. Definitely.
Cool. Well, hey, we should do it. You want to do a part 2 sometime?
Let's
do it.
Talk
Definitely.
more about the guitar.
Yeah, definitely. We can
Okay.
give you more, of your group, your audience, or whoever I don't know if anybody's interested. That'd be great. You know, talk about it, show you some more stuff.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, Michael, Robert, great to have you guys. Great to meet you.
Button? Is it a little button? Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a clapper.
Yeah. It's a little...
That's hilarious.
See?
Oh, okay. Special effects. That's hilarious.
Special effects.
I got that from Santa.
There you go.
Yeah.
10.
So hey, we'll do another show. Talk about, more about, your history and our history and your guitar, all that stuff. So thank you guys. Thank you so much for joining us.
Cool. Thank you, Johnny.
You're welcome, man. And thank you to our channel members. Thank you for your continued support for this channel and these shows, you guys. Thank you so much. So, yeah, we'll do a part 2. So make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. And we will see you guys on the next show right here on, what channel is this? Lori Tucker from Van Halen's Hot for Teacher music video.
I just want to be like, how old are you?
Hey, it's Lori Tucker and
Johnny Beane,
and we're here at the Forum and we're going to see
Sammy Hagar.
And you're watching Johnny Beane TV. Stay tuned.
Thank you so much for watching. Click on another video on the screen here. Drop your comments below. And we will see you guys on the next episode right here on Johnny Beane TV.